All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2 Meter Crew Antinet. My name is Nick, and my call sign is KN6DAL, and I will be tonight's coordinator. We want to take a second and say a big thanks and shout out to the W6VVR repeater and the Vacaville Radio Club. Also to the Freestar Network for the use of their digital connections, the owners and operators of the WX5NAS repeater system, and a big thanks to Mike, WG5EEK, Greg, W5GSW, and Brian, KK6BXP, for all of their continued networking efforts. And we're going to take just a second, see if there is any emergency or priority traffic. If there is, you can always say break, break with your call sign, and we'll clear the air for you throughout the course of the night. So is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? All right, nothing heard. What a relief. The 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club. We're just a group of hams that are enjoying everything ham related. There's no dues, there's no fees or sign-ups or anything to be a 2 Meter Crew member. If you're looking for more information, you can check us out at our website at 2metercrew.net. You can also join our Discord group. There is links in the YouTube description for joining that if you'd like. This is an open Antinet. It's open for everybody to jump in. If you have anything to say or any questions, you're always welcome to chime in and keep the conversation going. You don't need to wait your turn. We just ask that you try not to double over each other and say your piece. The 2 Meter Crew Antinet meets every Wednesday. That's at 8 p.m., which is 3 a.m. UTC. And we are on the W6VVR repeater. There's also many different digital connections that are available. There's Echolink at W6VVR-R. There's Allstar Nodes 51094 and 512342. There is also DMR Talk Group 3174117, YSF Reflector 50462. The Freestar All-Star links are hooked up tonight, and that's 2195 and 2196. You can also access us through the Mad Scientist Amateur Radio Club in San Mateo on their repeater system. And there's a Zoom link that will be in the YouTube description for people that want to join in through Zoom. This is also being live streamed on YouTube at Northwest Ham Shack. If you like and subscribe to that channel, it'll notify you when we go live every week. All right, and we just want to take a second and see if there is any stations out there. Is there anybody that has just recently gotten their call sign? Any new operators or people that just upgraded their license class? Come on in now. All right, no new license holders. If you're brand new and you're afraid to jump in and say hi, you're always welcome to check your audio, see if everything's working. That's what we're here for. Any stations want to check into the 2 Meter Crew Antinet, you're welcome to come on in. All right, with no check-ins yet, I'm going to pick on Connor, and I'm going to put you on the spot, Connor. K7CBL from KN6DAL. See if you got a question that you can ask the group, and see if there's anything you can think of. It could be a simple question. It could be a hard question. Anything you want to challenge people to ask. Take it away.
Man, well, we got some dead air here. K7CBL for ID. Man, my question to the group is, what is your favorite brand of radio? Again, what is your favorite brand? I personally, Motorola. If you know me, you know that very well. But let's hear it. Anybody like Yaesu, Kenwood, ICOM? What are some other brands out there? I don't know. What are other brands? Vertex Standard. I don't know. Help me out, Nick. What are some other brands? Heathkit. That's another one. I'll say that because Dan's here. Man, there's a bunch of other brands out there. But yeah, if you have a favorite brand, yeah, let's hear what it is. Come on.
All right, well, I'm going to take that before it gets muddied up with some stuff that, doesn't hold the top tier, and I'm going to throw Yaesu out there. And the reason I'm going to do that, this is Nick, KN6DAL, is because I own two different Yaesu. I own a couple other Yaesu radios that I don't use, but I own two, one that I use in the shack and one that I use mobile, and I love them both, and I've had very little issues with them. I've always gotten really good audio reports, and for the most part, they're feature rich and they're affordable, and they give me pretty easy acts of use. There's not a lot of problems with me trying to figure out how to use them. So I'm gonna throw Yaesu out as my number one contender, and you don't have to give any examples, Connor, of why Motorola is the best, because it's just because they're expensive, right?
They're expensive. Come on. It's not the price. It's just the feature set. That's why I like
the swag.
Motorola. It's not the swag. It's the feature set. I use them every day at work. I got to use them personally. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that fix in.
No, I hear you. Thanks for the question, Connor. This is Nick, KN6DAL. We're looking for check-ins for the 2-meter crew anti-net. Any and all stations, come on in now.
I gotta get. Dude,
Look,
I gotta
quick,
get
good
Mike,
evening
man.
from KN6BXX. A long time no hear. How you guys doing?
KN6BXX, Michael from Carmichael. How you doing, man? Things are good up here, and we're just kind of hanging out, enjoying the night. And the question tonight is, what is your favorite brand radio? Take it away, buddy.
No, but I tell you what, I guess I'll go for the Icon because I have the 7100, the Shack in a Box. It's been a good radio so far. With my NFED, with my LDG tuner, I've been going on with HF pretty good. Make some good contacts around the country, with on some 20 meters especially. I've been doing pretty good on 80 and 40 so far. So I guess I'll say the Icon because the 7100 is my rock star for HF. So there we go. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm back to work tomorrow. I've been busy with work week, shorthanded on people, so it's been stretched. So, guys, hang in there as I will, and good photos of your family there, Nick. I saw them on Facebook. Look at they're growing fast. You guys take care, and we'll catch you again some soon. 7-3 from KN6DXX. Good night.
All right, Michael. Thank you for the check-in, and we'll give one for the scoreboard on ICOM tonight. And I hope you have a great night and a good work week. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2-meter crew anti-net, looking for any and all stations. Come on in now. All right, nothing being heard.
KZ6BSA, San Mateo, California, checking into your anti-net.
Okay, I think I got KZ6BSA, if that was correct. Take it away.
I'm just doing a demonstration here. I'm a Cub Scout leader, and I'm on your rebroadcasting over the Mad Scientist repeater here in San Mateo, so good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for checking in with us. I didn't catch your name. If you could come back with your name. And then we have a question tonight. What is your favorite brand of ham radio and why?
Okay, first name here is Dawn, and my favorite brand of radio is... I don't have one. I just use one of the Chinese imports. If you were to ask K7CBL, he might have a better answer since he lives about 20 feet down the hall from me.
Got it. Okay, so we've got Connor's dad here in the house, and we did ask Connor what his favorite radio brand was, but to be fair, I didn't approve of the answer, and so I'm not willing to record it as a brand. His brand was a commercial radio. It's not a ham radio, so it doesn't count. And so yeah, but no, I appreciate you checking in with us, Don. It was good to have you. And you said you were doing a demonstration. Are you demonstrating for anybody other than Connor?
Negative. Wednesday nights is our Cub Scout meeting in Connor's old pack. I'm still running it after 15 years. He moved on to Boy Scouts and did his thing and aged out, and so I'm still running it here. So I have a bunch of kids here who just like to play with walkie-talkies. So I usually fire up the IRLP net on another local repeater, and since I'm on a dual band Wushan Chinese radio, I heard the Mad Scientist repeater come up. So that's our other repeater that we practice on.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks for queuing in your Cub Scout pack with the radio, and I appreciate you checking in with us tonight. And to all of you soon-to-be ham radio operators, hopefully it is inspiring for you to get on the air. So thanks for checking in with us, Don. We appreciate it. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2-meter crew anti-net. We're looking for any and all stations. Come on in now.
This is Whiskey 6, Delta Echo, Foxtrot. Darren, currently rolling mobile through Fair Oaks.
All right, WW6DEF. You sound good, mobile. How's your evening going? And our question tonight is, what is your favorite brand of radio and why?
260 up here, just getting off work, rolling down Highway 50, and just getting ready to get off and get home. My favorite radio, I'm going to have to go with Yasu 2980. I've got two of them. I got one inside the man cave, if you will, the ham shack, and that's what I'm on now in my truck.
All right, I'll take that. That's two for Yasu on my count, and so I think we're leading the scoreboard right now. But yeah, awesome radio. That one, I think that one does 80 watts on 2 meters, if I'm correct. Is that right?
No, this is a rad radio, man. It's I think it's the best one. I've messed around with a lot of them. The Kenwood's pretty good too. The Kenwood TM something. That's a legit radio, 65 watts. If you still get it out there. I know the 2980 is still sitting at the candy store in Sacramento at the ham radio outlet, so they're still selling those. But that Kenwood one, that's a good little radio too if you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, copy that. Well, I appreciate you checking in with us tonight, and hope you have a safe commute on your way back home. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2-meter crew anti-net, looking for any and all check-ins. Come on in now.
KN6 BVX, Tony and Folsom.
All right, Tony. I think I wrote your call sign down right. It's KN6BBX. Is that correct?
Copy that. Kilo November 6, Bravo, Victor X-ray. Yeah, I just stumbled across the anti-net. Figured I'd come in and say hi.
You know, I never realized how close your call sign is to Michael from Carmichael, KN6BXX versus KN6BVX. So I'm assuming you guys probably took your license class together, huh?
Well, actually, we didn't. I don't know where he took his. I know mine was at a round pizza place, I don't know, round something pizza, over in, and forgive me, I'm not from the area, so I don't really know all these pizza joints. Round Table, that's where it was, over in Roseville, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was put on by the K6 EK repeater system, that 145430 does a coffee break net in the mornings. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, I don't know where he did his. But yeah, like, there's a lot of can calls out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. That's the same place I took my my tech test, was at that Round Table Pizza there in Roseville. So super cool. Well, Tony, we got a question for you tonight. It is, what's your favorite brand radio and why?
Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. For HF or VHF?
We'll make it your choice. Whatever you like to operate the most.
Yeah, man, I got this 7300 and I absolutely love it. I get good recommendations over the air for HF. It's really nice. Although I do have a Kenwood here, that TS450, and it doesn't get a lot of, wow, that sounds great, but it does have a distinct sound, those old Kenwoods. So I don't know, man. That's a hard question. And VHF, honestly, whatever you like. The simpler the better, especially if you're mobile. That's my thing. I like to have 2 meters and 440 on mine. I personally, in the truck, run the ICOM 2730. So just a simple 2 meter 440 radio. K6 PBX, back to that.
Yeah, I appreciate your input. I know that ICOM 7300 is a really popular radio. A lot of people really love it for good reason. And I couldn't agree with you more on, for mobile, simple is better. I think that one of my contingencies for a mobile radio is that you absolutely have to be able to field program it. They make a lot of mobile radios that are challenging to save stuff, and unless you have it hooked up to a computer, and that just doesn't jive with me. You got to be able to punch a couple things in and save a repeater, with relative ease. So I'll give it back to you for your final, Tony.
Yeah, totally. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that like Motorola's and stuff, those commercial type radios. And they are pretty hardy radios. And God, I can't personally say anything bad about Motorola, but it's like one of those things where you need a computer, you need a software, you need the know-how to get that thing programmed. And if you're just going to run a couple of repeaters and simplex channels, and that's perfect. That's great. That might suit a lot of people out there. But people like the ham people that like to tinker and change things around on the fly kind of thing, yeah, the simpler the better. And there's a lot of them out there. Yaesu's got them, and ICOM's got them, and Elinco, and all kinds of stuff out there. But anyways, yeah, thanks for doing that, man. I'm glad I stumbled across this. Pretty cool. Seems pretty chill net. All right, back to that K6 PVX 73, everybody.
All right, thanks for the check-in, Tony. I hope you have a great night, and we'll hopefully see you next week. This is Nick, KN6DAL, with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. We're looking for any and all check-ins, any stations, anywhere. Come on in now.
Kilo November 6, Golf Lima Golf, Troy and Folsom.
KN6GLG. Troy, how you doing tonight?
It's always a good day when you're vertical, right?
Those are good words. That's very, very true. We got a question for you tonight. I don't know if you heard it yet, but the question is, what is your favorite brand radio and why?
I'm going to waffle like I did last week's question and say Yaesu and Motorola. Yaesu because I'm really kind of in the packet side of radio, and I've got a 2980. It works fantastic. And Motorola, we got an NTS 2000 at work, and that thing went through hell and back for me and never missed a beat.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I'm a little disappointed to see Motorola get another notch on the board there, but I'm happy that it was backed up by a Yaesu, so we'll call that a fair trade-off. How's the evening going, and what's your plans for radio this week?
Well, my plans are I really want to get a packet station, a node, up and running this week. So got some reading to do, and I think I've got all the equipment. So a little bit of trial and error, and hopefully I'll be up by the end of the week.
Oh, that's awesome. If you get it going, or if you don't even, come back next week and tell us about what you figured out and what you learned on the way. I'd definitely love to hear about it.
Will do. Thanks for the net. Have a great weekend. KN6 GLG.
All right, we'll see you around, Troy. Thanks. This is Nick, KN6DAL. Let's pick on Dan, N6ETR. How are you doing tonight?
KN6DAL, November 6, Echo Tango Romeo. Thanks, Nick. I'm doing all right. Just hanging out here with the 2-meter crew anti-net, and I on Amazon Prime Day, I purchased a 3D printer, Ender 3 V2. And so in the background, I'm actually teaching myself Fusion 360 and drinking beer, which is semi-productive. But yeah, that's it for me. And I'm actually trying to design a Heathkit dial right now and learning how to spiral in the program. So just hanging out with you guys and teaching myself that presently.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're right on track with. So Fusion 360 is a really tough program to I don't want to say master, because it's a lot of work to even get like somewhat proficient in it. But once you understand like kind of what you're doing, which I got a lot of help honestly from Connor and then from another friend of mine that lives up here in just getting the technique down to even start building stuff. But once you have an idea, or if you have some familiarity with CAD programs, man, you can make anything with it, you know. And it's so cool to be able to make it, you know, get it to where you want it, and then just actually turn it into something, into an actual object, just right there from your computer is a pretty cool concept. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you make with some of that stuff, Dan.
Oh, thanks, Nick. Yeah, it's so I have 10 years of AutoCAD experience professionally, and I've done an introduction to SolidWorks class, and I think we've talked about this at Field Day, but Fusion 360 actually takes a lot of the same commands from SolidWorks. The interface is very similar. And then the better part about it is it incorporates AutoCAD's feature of being able to just to apply dimensioning on the fly as you're drawing the entity, versus SolidWorks, you kind of got to sketch and then apply dimensions. I never really liked that. So yeah, Fusion 360, it's coming out to be a very great program. I'm enjoying it, and it's free for 3 years as long as you don't try to sell anything that you design. So yeah, so I'm enjoying that. Favorite radios. So I'm a Heathkit fan, but Heathkits for me are like a project car, and you shouldn't drive one to work every day because you'll end up on the side of the road. I do all the time with Heathkits. So I'm going to have to, for mobile applications or on the go, I love Yaesu. I love their simplicity. I love their reliability. I have an FT2900 in my vehicles and an 891 that I use for Field Day and soda. And let's see, but I will say, if I was to actually buy an HF rig for home, something I'm not lugging around, I really like Kellen's Kenwood TS2000. Everything you want has its own individual button, and I don't want to sort through menus, and so I really like that about his radio. I think it has auto tuning. I think it's Shack in a Box, and it's a great radio. I would check into that if you're okay with buying a used HF rig. KN6DAL and 6CTR.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, very good input. I have used that radio, and I would love to add one of those to my shack. they have a pretty significantly high price tag right now on the used market.
No.
But they are a shack in the box, and there's a lot of cool extra features that you can get for them. So yeah, they're a good radio. I agree. Well, thanks for checking in with us. And we for those of you that don't know, there is a Zoom chat that's taking place right now, and we're live streaming this on YouTube. So if you want to join in on the Zoom chat, there is links in the chat on YouTube that you can use to join in the Zoom call, and that's at Northwest Ham Shack. You're always welcome to do that. This is Nick, KN6DAL, with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. We're looking for any stations, anybody that wants to check in, come on in now.
Dude, I love my TS2000, man. Although I don't use it because I have the 7300, I absolutely love that radio. It's amazing.
I can barely hear you, Connor.
Oh, I love my TS2000. Even though I barely use it since I have the 7300, I absolutely love that thing, man. Like, the only thing I need to do with mine is align it. That's it. Because it drifts over time. But other than that, dude, it's a perfect radio. Especially when you get 1.2 module in there. You get the 1.2 gig.
Yeah, there's so many
cool
things
radio.
you can do with that thing.
Yeah. Just no 220, sadly.
Whoa. All right, this is Nick, KN6DAL, with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. We've got Dave in the chat, K6WBY. There he is. He turned his mic on. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Hey Nick, Dave, K6WBY here. Doing well. I'm packing for an overland trip right now, so I've just been kind of listening and trying to slam dinner between loading the stuff in the truck. Thanks again, as always, for running the net. Things are looking up and sounding fun. To answer the question, the only radio that I'm willing to admit that I own at this point is a bunch of different Yaesus. Getting into the hobby, I found that even though there's differences between the models, that the consistency in programming and kind of how they work, it's been very easy for me to kind of jump between the different radios. So really happy with the brand and the 4 different Yaesu radios I currently own. I will say my one comment about Motorola is it's easy to know how much you're going to pay for it because they usually have the model name something after the price. If you're getting the whatever 8,000, it's because it's $8,000. So
close to the 4, but yeah.
That's it for me tonight. Thanks again for doing the net. This is Dave, K6WBY.
All right, thanks for checking in with us, Dave. Yeah, there is a price tag. I'll give it to Motorola on one level. I've got a Motorola, and it's programmed as a node linked radio. So I've got it linked to an Allstar Node, and I leave that thing running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I never shut it off. I've never had any problems with it. Once I put in, now the programming of it is like a disaster. It's like trying to herd kittens. Once I had to be shown exactly what to do on every step of the programming. But once we got through that, the radio really does perform well. So I'm not going to put my check mark on Motorola, but I'll say there is utility in it. So thanks for the check-in, Dave. This is Nick, KN6DAL, with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. We're looking for any and all stations. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now.
N6EFR.
I heard Bird in there. How you doing? It sounds like you're mobile. How's the commute going?
I'm in the commute. Yeah, just heard you guys over the Sonoma part by the racetrack. It's just like, oh, there they are. How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. I'm watching Connor's fish float around in his fish tank. He's got a live video feed of his goldfish swimming around, so it's kind of entertaining, to be honest with you. I like it. But other than that, we're just hanging out, enjoying the night. The question tonight is, what is your favorite brand of radio and why?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm just gonna have to go with Yaesu. Yaesu was like my first real radio, so I'm gonna have to go with that. I got the 8900R, and so it's like it's been working out real good as a base station for me. And then I've got that FT70 as well, so good radios to have.
All right, got one more in the books for Yaesu. Thanks for the check-in, Bert. And if you make it home in time, we'd love to see you on the Zoom chat. Let's see who else we got out there. Any other stations want to check in to the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net? Come on in now.
There you go, Nick. There's a snap.
Kilo 2 Delta Yankee.
All right. It was chopped up right at first digitally, but I think I got it. It was VK2DY. Come again?
This is VK2DY. I'm sorry, I'm out shopping at an LD.
Nope, that go around you sounded good. How are you doing tonight? And the question tonight is, what's your favorite brand of ham radio?
Yes, good afternoon. This is Robert, Victor Kilo 2 Delta Yankee in Stanhope Gardens, New South Wales, but all part of the urban sprawl that is Sydney. Just doing some shopping here at an Aldi, and then I'm going to go back home. My favorite, it's 15 degrees Celsius and overcast. So it is winter here, and we have a couple months left yet. Anyway, other than that, my favorite brand of radio is Yaesu. All my HF equipment is Yaesu. It just makes life simpler. You just need to learn things once and not again. So Yaesu, definitely. VK2DY, back to.
All right. Thanks for the input on that, Robert. You know, I really appreciate when you check in with us. I love having you on here. Specifically, I like, oddly enough, hearing about the weather and the difference in weather over there. You know, we joke around up here because a lot of like the rag chew on HF and stuff is like weather and gas prices and stuff like that. But, you know, when I hear like all the way across the world, it's really interesting to hear like the difference in seasons and stuff that you have. And so I really appreciate you checking in. With that, I will say 7-3 to you. I hope you have a good night and have a good time shopping. And thanks for keeping your links connected up for this. This is Nick, KN6DAL, with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. We're looking for any stations, anywhere. Come on in now. All right, I'm going to give one last call out to see if there's anybody that wants to check in, and then after that, we're going to tally up our score. We'll see who came out ahead. This is Nick with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net, call signs KN6DAL. We're looking for any and all check-ins. Any and all check-ins, come on in now. All right, nothing being heard. Let's tally it up. So it looks like for Motorola, we had 2. For ICOM, we had 1, 2, 3. And for Kenwood, we had 2. And for Yaesu, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like Yaesu takes it tonight. So for anybody out there looking to get into a new radio, sounds like Yaesu might be a top contender. But one thing to keep in mind is every radio is built a little bit differently for everybody. So one build doesn't always fit for each person. So check out the different features, see what you like, and then tell us about it. I want to tell everybody thank you for coming in and checking in with us tonight. We will be hanging out for a little bit here on the Zoom chat, so if you want to jump in and say hi there, you can. And without further ado, I will turn all these repeaters back over to normal operation and say 7-3, and we'll see you all next week. Yaesu won.
Dude, I'm looking at this thing that Mike sent me.
I'm afraid to say this, Connor, but can you turn your mic up a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I cannot hear you.
All right,
now
how's
it's
this?
going to be
Better?
so obnoxiously over-modulated.
Huh?
I'm going to have to mute.
No. How's this? Is this better?
Yeah, way better.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking at this thing that Mike's got going, this DV Switch HTML client.
Okay.
Dude, this thing's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Did you see his post about it?
I think I saw a picture, but I didn't know exactly what he was doing with it.
So you know how we have to log in like SSH into our nodes and then set the protocol that we want to link, such as DMR and then the talk group number?
Yes, except for on mine, I have it programmed where I can just DTMF it through my Supermon. But yeah, I get it.
So there's this thing that somebody made that basically allows you, it looks, and I may be speaking incorrectly here, but what it looks like is it allows you to just from a web client do those same commands essentially. Okay. So instead of having to log in or send the DTMF command, right, which actually just sends a command to the DV switch, but it's a full featured web client. It shows the calls on that talk group. It does a lookup and it grabs their like QRZ picture.
Yeah.
And it displays their ID and their mode. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've got a problem, it seems like, or maybe there's something wrong with the reflector, but I was trying to link in P25. I got all my nodes back on the air, so all the nodes are on. I figured out what the issue was and why they weren't booting, but I didn't figure that out until like 8:10, so it's a little too late to link in. But dude, this software is I want to get this thing set up on my nodes now.
This is actually really
cool.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So, does he have a link?
It's a groups.io thing, and he says that it's very. I mean, I asked him, and I mean, if he says that it was a pain to set up, he said it was a pain to set up, and that's coming from Mike. Keep in mind.
Yeah, which means
and he said there's
near impossible.
Yeah, there's a long document in the group, but it's very vague from what Mike says. So something tells me it was written by someone and they weren't really planning on publicly releasing it, but then they released it but didn't release any documentation with it. And that sounds pretty normal for people who don't really develop things publicly.
Yeah.
So, or to be released publicly. That's kind of what I do as well. So
my question is with this, because I'm just looking at the picture that he has. Are you just select the talk group that you want to use and then you just chunk into it, and it's only for DMR?
Is it only for? I see a drop-down mode box. I'm looking at a picture. It might be a different one than what he put in the Discord.
Oh, I do. Okay, I see the drop-down mode box.
You see
too.
above his DMR ID?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm really curious. I'll poke him and ask him about it. But, dude, that thing is cool, man.
So yeah, you can literally just click it and link it in. How that makes it really. That's even easier than the DTMF side.
Yeah.
Because the DTMF functionality he created, and you have to
It's still
basically
good.
DTMF into the
Yeah.
mode and then DTMF into the actual talk group, and
Yes.
it's all different depending on what mode you're using.
Well, see, on this kind of topic and shifting a little bit away from it. So I don't use normal Pi-Star anymore. I use a build. I don't know if you saw anything. I think I shared this with you.
I do too.
I know Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, I use
You
the
use
same build. It's awesome.
W0CHPs. Oh,
What's that?
did I put you on there? W0CHP.
No,
I think
Mike
I
sent
did.
it to me.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if I walked you through it or not, but dude, that build is so cool though. Like I don't even install normal Pi-Star. Like I'm totally gonna throw some shade on Bridgecom here. A friend of mine bought a Bridgecom Skybridge. That's a $400 Pi-Star.
Yeah.
Okay. And they put their own garbage modified version. And, if anyone from Bridgecom ever hears this, feel free to drop me an email, K7CBL, you can get my QRZ. You guys don't know how to modify your software. It's completely disgusting. Like, it's garbage. It doesn't work. Like, just stop. Hire some real people to do it. But it was so broken, the hotspot, that I put Pi-Star in it, and then I immediately updated the W0CHP. I got it set up within like 5 minutes, and it's ready to go back to the dude that it's for. But man, if you thought Pi-Star was complicated, this definitely, I think, clears it all up. That W0CHP, because you need to turn something off, you just go right there instead of having to dig through a menu and then wait 10 minutes for it to come back to you.
I completely agree with that. In fact, I was gonna share my screen on the same build, but I don't have my Pi-Star, or I'm sorry, my hotspot is set up mobile and it's in my backpack right now. So
I can screen share if we want to.
I have screen share enabled. If you want to screen share that so
Yeah.
people can see
Yeah,
what
give
you're
it to
talking about, but it
Give it to me.
makes I love it. I love all the features of how he set that up, and the one
All right, you guys can see it.
the one caveat to this though is you can't really run it on a Pi Zero. So if
you can see it, right?
I can
I
see
see
it.
your fish tank.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So if you're running it on a Pi
Pi 3,
Zero,
it's good.
he warns in his notes that it's not going to function near as well because it just demands a lot more processing power.
Yeah.
I am running it on a Pi Zero 2. So Pi Zero 2 is, instead of I think a Pi Zero is like a single core processor with 500 megs of RAM, and a Pi Zero 2 is still the 500 meg of RAM, but it's a quad core processor, and they're a lot faster. And I've had no issues.
It can take it. Yeah.
I've had no issues with it.
So this is what I love. I mean, I'm definitely waiting for the day here, let's just go into, I don't know, we can demo how easy this is. So I'm on Wi-Fi, I'm on a 3B+, but let's go into Brancheister here and open it up. And it still takes a minute, but, I didn't click on it. So, this is nice. This is really nice. Yeah. So it shows you what's static. I actually don't know why. I think that's your YSF node, right? Right, Nick? 50462?
50462, yeah.
I don't know why that's static on Brandmeister for some reason. Oh, I know why. Because when I was doing the cross mode from DMR to YSF, it would drop the call. So, yeah, you can do that to fix it. But if we want to enter what? Let's enter. Oh, you guys still can hear me, right?
Yeah.
What's 91 is what?
Worldwide.
Okay, so this is how you add multiple. But let's instead of logging in the Brandmeister, which is just inherently garbage, right? Let's add 91. Although I never suggest adding 91 as a static talk group unless you want to kill your Pi-Star.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with you on Brandmeister being garbage. It's the
their interface.
What's that?
It's their web interface that's garbage.
Okay,
to
yeah, I
adding
mean,
things to
it leaves a little
hotspots.
to be desired, but what, like, we've talked about this before. What in the ham radio hobby isn't on the computer side, right?
Well, I mean, work on your, get your. Wow, is it really not active right now? Interesting. Okay.
I've heard it dead a couple times for a couple minutes, but it usually has
Yeah.
got stuff going on.
So like here, I'll key up on. This is something I
Go to
love.
live.
Live caller. Yeah, that's what I was about to do.
Yeah.
So here's live caller. Give it a second to load, or maybe it needs some traffic. Hold on.
No,
Okay.
you're good. That
So
was
this
the
is
last
like the
call.
last person. This was the last call that was on the system. So I'm gonna key up and go active. Let me identify myself. CBL testing on Mountain West DMR. So there I am, and this is really cool if you have like a TV.
Yeah.
Like if you have a TV with a web browser, like a Roku TV, instead of having your dashboard, this little page, which you still can see on a TV, it looks fine. But if you want just like a signboard looking thing, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I love about it. It shows your info. I wish that you could display this data in this format on the Pi screen. If you have a screen on your Pi, which
Right.
I think you can.
You
but
can on the I forget the name of that screen. On the 3-inch screen, you can do that.
Okay, I don't know what I have on this. The hotspot I have next to me here, this Bridgecom one. This Bridgecom one doesn't. It doesn't have that, I don't think. But regardless, I mean, this is such a cool. I love this, man.
It's a really
I
nice
love this
interface.
interface.
Super user friendly.
It looks so much better than default Pi-Star, which I'm quite surprised that hasn't been updated in as long as Pi-Star's been around.
Yeah.
Like,
I like the way he has the configuration page set up. It's just easier to use.
Is there any private info in there? I don't think so.
Yes, it might show your if you drilled down into a file, it would show your password, so don't go on there.
But if I just went into config, will it show my...
You can just go into configuration, it won't show you anything. It'll just show you the way he has it laid out.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a theme, and I never really finished the theme, but the default theme looks pretty good. But, like, I'm thinking as I'm scrolling here if there's anything important. But, we'll stop there at Wi-Fi. But yeah, man, dude, this thing is just, it's crazy detailed. Like, I absolutely love it.
One thing, I haven't done this yet, but I oftentimes have to re-input my password because there's a place to put it in the expert file. That way it saves it when you apply changes. Sometimes mine will boot mine out, but it's a known issue because this uses the Pi-Star platform. He's just enhanced the web interface of it, and
it's all CSS rewrite, which you can well, yes and no. So this is all CSS primarily. What you're looking at, this is the CSS for it, but there is actually some more stuff that he's done to it. That's why it's a full build and not just like a CSS rewrite. If you read his documentation, W0CHP, I don't know if anybody's asking about it. No, of course, I'm the only viewer on the live stream. W0CHP, there's some really good documentation as to what he improves, and he improves quite a bit of things, including like just the overall responsiveness of the UI.
Yeah.
Because he's not keeping every page loaded, because that's something I believe Pi-Star does, is they keep every single page loaded. Right. So that's something that I really do appreciate. Is that, and because there's so much updates going on to the system at a time, like it's a hit on the RAM, and then obviously the CPU takes a pretty big load, so it just bogs down the Pi.
And the guy does not want to be contacted. about questions. So
Yeah.
read through whatever instructions you need. If you're not comfortable doing it, either don't or reach out to somebody else, because you will get berated if you try to contact him,
Talk to
because
him.
he made it open source for everybody. He just doesn't want to, I think, sift through the BS
End user
I guess,
support.
All of that. And I can't
there's
blame him for
nothing
that.
much. There's nothing much. There's not really that much to it. Once you have Pi-Star updated to 4.1.6 or higher, you just kind of go into the SSH console and you just punch in the command.
Yep.
And then hit enter and then come back in 10 minutes. Your Pi will have already rebooted and you'll be like, whoa, this is a new interface. It's totally worth it. Even if you're not using his custom CSS, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but I've been thinking about rewriting the Pi-Star CSS by myself, making it more of a menu-based system. But this is perfect. I mean, I hated that everything was on the left side and like it was this tiny little centered window. That's something I absolutely hated. I love that it's all moved over to the right side. I love that, the important stuff, or all this stuff up here, your frequencies, your status, all that good junk is up there now. But yeah, man, I barely ever use my hotspot, but the only time I use it is on DMR if I need it. And I mean, you can see it's on 900 megahertz, so like that's another reason why I barely use it. But it's definitely cool, that's for sure. But I guess we could probably stop going on and on and on about saying this thing's cool.
No. So I'm excited for when you set up that printer, though, Dan. That's going to be super cool. Has it arrived already? Do you have it?
It gets here on Friday, so
Cool.
That'll be a weekend project.
Yeah, I would order a BL Touch and then read through what you need to do to upgrade to use the BL Touch. I don't remember who. I think it was Connor. Connor, you like to manually level yours, don't you?
It's not that I necessarily like to manually level it. It's that I don't. So you wanted me to do the BL Touch. I didn't have a spare Pi at the time for it. So
you don't need a Pi to do the BL Touch.
Well, no, for Octo. Oh, well, yeah, the BL Touch, but also the Pi for Octoprint. But the main thing is I didn't want to touch the firmware, the whole firmware thing for the BL Touch. I didn't want to do that. But manually leveling, it's honestly just like, it's so quick. You just put the extruder point on a corner, throw your sticky note underneath, wiggle it, get it loose to the point where it's like barely touching. Do that across all 4 points. Check the center, make sure the center's not all bowed out and weird.
Okay.
Throw a little bit of Elmer's glue on there, Elmer's stick glue, and hit print. It's perfect for me. I don't even need to touch the whole BL Touch thing. But I do want to set up Octoprint when I get one more spare Raspberry Pi, because I only have 2 right now and I have projects for them. I
love Octoprint. I love having the ability to go in and load a file into Kira, get it set up the way that I want it, click, and it's printing. Done deal.
Well, the only thing with Octoprint for me is I don't keep filaments on the spool, like on the printer. So I already have to go to and I don't leave the printer on. So I already have to, and remember my printer used to be in my room here, but the plan now is I'm not gonna have it in here because it gets it way too hot in here. It's 82 in my room right now just from everything running. And the AC struggles to keep it cool in here, but I already have to go turn the printer on, preheat it, load the filament in it. And that's just because my humidity is at like 60%, 60 at all times. So like if I don't keep that filament dry, I've noticed issues. And even at 60% humidity, if I only use, well, it doesn't even matter how much I use the printer, the bottom end of that spool is going to absorb water. So it's just going to go to garbage. That's another thing, Dan, is when you get into this, if you're done, unless you get like a drying box for your filament, which is there's this whole thing you can go down, but you don't want water in your filament, and PLA loves to suck up water.
Oh.
But yeah, humidity is not a good thing with these plastics on the spool. But what I do is I get my boxes you just buy. I go to Central Computers. I think Best Buy sells them too. And I keep the box, obviously, because you can stack them. But I get a 1 gallon Ziploc, and once I'm done using that, I throw it back in the 1 gallon Ziploc. Also on that, I have, you can buy them on Amazon for super cheap, but the silica packet gels. And I throw one of those in that gallon Ziploc, throw my spool in it, and I close it. And I always put the spool back into that Ziploc like within 4 or 5 hours after printing, which is, you can definitely leave it out for more time. It's just if you have high humidity or if you run a humidifier, like it's definitely a problem. And then the other thing is make sure I like to enclose the printer. Like I use a cardboard box over mine.
Okay.
Because I ran it in my room. I had to keep the AC on because it would heat up the room. And that actually screwed up the prints a lot, and print adhesion. That's the other thing. So there's a lot of like I went through it. I think Nick and I spent about 45 minutes going through my settings.
Okay.
Just like really fine, like changing very small values that made, and also like something I haven't done, but Nick has told me to, and I haven't really seen a reason to do it yet, is to calibrate my extruder. I haven't done it yet because it takes a minute to do, but like fine tweak your settings. Don't be pissed off with your first print like being like crap. Like fine tweak or fine tune and make all those little changes because it really adds up. And then once you go on, like you'll learn like, okay, this is a bigger print. I need to raise if you're printing straight onto the bed, I need to raise the temperature of the bed by another couple of degrees and it'll help adhere the plastic better. Or this is a big print. I'm going to use Elmer's glue on my print bed so that it adheres the best. And that's something that you pick up over time. There's lots of small tips and tricks. I mean, most of my prints don't have to be pretty, but structural. So most of the time, I don't care if the print quality is like crap. But you're ending the stream here, Nick. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.